Hello and welcome to an unofficial guide to the ShiftedLands LARP Rulebook 104. In this video, we will be covering the life and death of your player character and how you interact with receiving damage, healing from damage, and the resurrection process. Let us begin on the section titled Life and Death of Your Character. Your character will have a minimum of 25 body after you finish the character creation process. Body is a number on your character sheet that amounts to health points or HP, which is commonly found in other systems. If at any point your body reaches exactly 0, you will fall down on the ground and be unconscious. Note that while you can technically receive the exact amount of damage to bring your character to 0 body, it is much more common for first aid skills to bring you to 0. Once you are at 0 and unconscious, you can begin a 10-minute count, and at the end of that count, you are brought back to 1 body and are again unconscious. An additional and more common state of unconsciousness is the bleeding state. Bleeding is the state you enter if you would receive beyond your body total in damage. Effectively, you are at -1 body and are considered bleeding. While bleeding, you begin a 1-minute count, which can be interrupted or paused from someone applying first aid or medicine man skills. Note, if the application of these skills are interrupted, you do not restart your 1-minute count. You instead continue at the number you paused at. If at any point during this bleeding process you regain 2 or more body points through the application of magic, such as Cure Light Wound spell, or through a production item such as bandages, alchemies, healing poisons, etc., you will regain consciousness at the stated body total of the application. If you are in the bleeding state and complete a 1-minute countdown, regardless of interruptions, you enter the dead state. There are multiple ways to enter the dead state within ShiftedLands directly that avoids the bleeding process altogether, such as magic spells like Inflict Death, weapon skills like Slay, or a countless number of other effects possible. While within the dead state, you begin a 10-minute count. Assuming you have a normal metabolism, which is highly likely as your first character, you can only be brought back to life from a Grant Life spell or similar item that brings you about a Grant Life effect. Regular healing that involves body totals, such as Cure Light Wounds or bandages, are ineffective and will not bring you back from the dead state. At the end of your 10-minute count, if you are not brought back to life by a Grant Life effect, then your character's body has dissipated, or turned to dust. If at any time you would turn to dust, you must immediately take the following steps. Drop all non-bonded and non-spirit linked items on the ground where your body dissipated. This includes your weapons, armor, bags, etc. Note: please hold on to your character sheet. Place a white headband on, or make a fist above your head to signify you are now out of game. Contact the nearest logistics or plot marshal to have them add +1 death to your sheet and sign it. Ask the marshal where the nearest few circles are. As a spirit, you are able to sense and seek out these circles. Head to the nearest circle and await the resurrection process. We will now cover the resurrection process. The strength of your character's spirit is represented through white and black stones inside a bag. This bag is initially filled with 10 white stones. To resurrect, you reach inside the bag and pull a stone. A white stone means a successful resurrection. A black stone amounts to permanent character death. Each time you would resurrect, you replace one of the white stones with a black stone. Note that you actually have 2 guaranteed resurrections before you have to start adding black stones to the bag. To begin the resurrection process involves your spirit being inside a magic circle, and you are compelled to resurrect as soon as possible. Once you enter the circle, you must inform anyone present within the magic circle that they, quote, sense a spirit. If you are invested in this circle, you may begin the resurrection process yourself. If you are not invested in the circle, an additional player who is invested in the circle may say, begin resurrection. The resurrection process takes 10 minutes for a normal circle, and 5 minutes if it's a ritually extended circle. The spirit may leave at any time and stop the resurrection process. However, they may not enter back into that circle until they are resurrected. Upon completion of the resurrection, you will pull the stone from your bag. Upon pulling a white stone, you may remove your white headband and say, I resurrect 1, I resurrect 2, I resurrect 3. You are now back in game at full body with all your limbs restored. All alchemical or brew effects are gone. Any rune tattoos your character had are gone, and all active spells are gone, with certain exceptions. Additionally, any racial per event abilities, such as resist poison, are refreshed to their current maximum. This does not include pool such as sorcery, spirit, knavery, or weapon mastery. There are also ways within the game to guarantee characters' resurrection through the use of skills or pathway abilities, in effect forcing the player to pull a white stone. This does not, however, prevent the addition of further black stones in the bag. There are also certain skills and racial abilities that interact with this process, namely those found within the goblin race. Should you pull a black stone, your character is now permanently dead, and you have two options. Option 1. Create a new player character as a base race with 25% of your now dead PC's total earned build. Option 2. Reincarnate the character that died. They did not permanently die, but instead lost 100% of their total earned build. This process involves talking with the logistics marshal, and after resurrection, you will immediately shift out of game and begin the conversation with logistics. Note that you may still apply blankets to this character, capping at 20, which means you have the potential of restarting with 100 open build if you have been playing for a period of time. If your character permanently dies, you may play a different character slot for the remainder of the event, or NPC for Monster Camp. This is the only way to play more than one character within the same event. Thank you for watching. This has been an unofficial guide to the Shifted Lands LARP Rulebook 104.